There's a time to embrace, and there's a time to refrain. There's a time to seek and a time to lose. You know, when John Walsh from America's Most Wanted lost his son was taken like that. He went after him, after him, after him. And in fact, he's still, up until recently, as they're getting ready to cancel that show, he's been seeking and seeking, not just his son, who they eventually found, unfortunately, the way that they did, but he's been seeking and seeking and seeking for others. There's a time to seek, and there's a time to lose. Guys, don't keep going after those things, and I'm specifically talking to the men right now. You know, Solomon had that harem. Some of us try to build up that harem, either through pornography or through checking out other girls, even if we do it in secret. There's a time to seek and a time to lose. Jesus told us that you got to pluck it out and you got to cast it away. That's the same thing going on right here. If you've got something in your life, stop seeking it. If there's something that you're not supposed to be doing, you need to let it go. There's a time to lose that. And that's for your benefit as well. A time to tear and a time to sow. Used to rip their clothing and sit with ashes on your forehead. There's a time to tear and a time to sow. There's a time to sit and show other people that you're unhappy. There's also a time to just stitch up your life and move on. Time to keep silent, a time to speak. Boy, have I learned this lately. Learned this lately. You know, sometimes you just want to keep saying things. Sometimes you have something with someone and you just want to keep going after them because they're just not listening. They just don't see my point. You tell them. You're kind to them. Maybe you share your feelings in a heated way. But you do your best to be kind, and even if you're heated, you go after them, you seek them, you show them. If they don't respond, be silent and pray for them. Intercede for them. It doesn't mean that what you need to do is go grab up Dave and say, hey, Dave, Jackie's got this problem, and we need to pray for her. No, we're not going to go gossip about her. What we're going to do is we're going to intercede personally, selflessly, alone, in our prayer closet before the Lord for them, and pray that God changes their heart. Because you're not going to force them to do it just because you keep on talking. Sometimes you have to be quiet. There's a time to love and a time to hate. But Jesus said, don't hate anyone. This isn't the hate that he's talking about. He said, love your neighbor as yourself. There's a time to hate the things that God hates. When Jesus stormed in the temple and turned over tables, that was pure hate. Not hate of man, not wanting him to come to him, but hate over what man was doing. It's okay to hate those things. It's okay to hate internet pornography. It's okay to hate what people are doing, but not to hate the people. Time for war and a time for peace. Right now, Jesus is collecting us up, bringing us to himself. There is relative peace. But there will be a time when Jesus comes back. And that time will seem like war to many. The God-given task that Solomon talks about here, though, is he points us toward the question, what gain has the worker from the toil? Why do we suffer this constant circle, this constant cycle? He says this, what profit do we have? What can we possess or own? What does the laborer get from this? Well, he owns the effort, that hard, continuous work. Solomon says that he perceived through his experiences what the Creator has bestowed upon us. God's placed this enmity in our lives. He's placed this embittered possibility in our lives only that we would turn and face back toward him. Yet so that he cannot find out what God has done, find out. In the Hebrew, that's called matzah. Figure out, to comprehend by study. See, guys, all that trouble that you go through has never been in vain. I'm going to stop there. What seemed like vanity to man was not vanity at all. Can you say you've ever cried a tear in vain? Can you say you've ever lost a friend downrange in vain?